Tracking mode off.
Jim Mallender wanted to sign Richard Wigglesworth and Charlie Hodgson from his old club Sale. Never even got a sniff because they came straight to Saracens. Chris Ashton was poached from Northampton. They tried to steal get Soani Tonawea, who had agreed to come here. So it's one of those things
that's the Northampton man talking.
I was going to say
it runs deep, doesn't it? You can't let it go.
Where's this going to be won and lost then, Paul?
Well, look, I mean, Saints are the best attack in the league and the worst defence, and that gets you 4th place. Saracens have the 2nd best attack and the 5th best defence, and that gets you top by an absolute mile. So the Saracens stranglehold and the way that they defend versus Northampton's all-out attacking style, really, if Saints can't get on the front foot, then they're going to struggle. I know they have a game plan. I know they've got a particular way they want to play against Saracens to try and take their line speed and that defensive threat away from them. I won't give it away pre-game in case someone from Saracens is listening in, but they have definitely got a plan. It's worked for, it's almost like New Zealand against South Africa, when South Africa were massive and seemed unbeatable. New Zealand managed to find a way. That's the way Northampton will approach it today.
Interesting battle between the two fly halves here in terms of experience as well.
Yes, obviously Owen Farrell, what is he? Must be 50 by now. He's been around forever. And then Finn Smith, who is one of those players who actually has benefited from the catastrophe at Worcester, because he's effectively was clubless, but had done a deal for next year to come to Northampton and was able to get to the Saints ahead of schedule, which has paid off for him. He's had a really good season from when he arrived. He's talented player, very brave in defence. It's the way Northampton play, and it kicks his goals, most importantly, off the back of that. He's not just a one-dimensional player. He accumulates points, but Farrell has all the experience of these sort of games.
And a quick one on Farrell, Mark. Even though his form for England, like the rest of the team, has been a bit checkered over the past couple of seasons, for Saracens he's been a force of nature this season. Absolutely fantastic, instrumental in them just tweaking their style to be that little bit more attacking, that little bit more ambitious. And there's a reason Farrell was on the shortlist for one of the players of the season from Premiership Rugby, because he's been outstanding, and it would be no surprise if he was to spearhead Saracens back to Twickenham.
Don't want you to give everything away from the Rugby Union Weekly, Paul, with the 4 directors of rugby in the semis that you did this week. But was there a general theme amongst them when it came to these semi-finals?
I think when it comes to the semi-finals, the themes are pretty consistent across the 4 dear horse we spoke to. It's incredibly hard to pick the right team. You're going to let people down. You're going to have some good conversations, and you've got to win the little moments. You know, these games, and we had George Ford on the pod from Sale, a man who's won Premiership titles at various stages of his career, and he said it could just come down to a couple of little moments. But on the whole, it was fantastic to chat to all 4 of the guys at the helm of these Premiership clubs. Optimistic about the odd pitch product, a little bit concerned about off the field, where the league has been this season and where it's heading. We covered a whole range of issues, so yeah, if you've not listened, please do.
Well, that is the theme, isn't it, finally, of the season, Paul? You know, on the field, again, it's been great. Off the field, you would really worry.
Oh, yeah, carnage off the field, and genuinely, I listened to, on the drive down, listened to Chris's pod with the director of rugby, and it was excellent. And they're, 4 guys with different levels of experience, almost like Mark McCall, kind of the granddaddy of them all, really. And they love the competition, they love the way the teams are playing, they're hopeful of the product, the financial chaos off the field. And we're all saying that, as lucky enough to have various entry points into the game. Not listen, my kids all play, grassroots or professional, and when we have this conversation, it's like it just goes around in a big circle. We end up getting points like, well, what's going to happen? And we all say, well, I don't know. And we are waiting for somebody to come in and say, actually, this is the way forward, because there is no doubt the appetite in the game is to get behind something, get behind a structure, get behind a proposal, because everyone's desperate for it to sort itself out, because we know we've got something good.
And Premiership Rugby, Mark, do have plans in place. They are freshening up the governance, freshening up the financial regulation. There's a new long-form agreement being thrashed out between the RFU and the Premiership. But while we're waiting that to all have a tangible impact in financial sustainability and in the on-field product. We are in this period of limbo, kind of as a sport. Next season might be a bit more limbo before the league gets rebooted in 24-25, and let's just hope with London Irish having this protracted takeover that there are more problems at more clubs while this limbo period continues, because if the game can come out, then certainly the on-field product is good enough for it to really thrive.
And go on then, one on tomorrow. It really is too close to call, isn't it?
If it wasn't for the fact that the semi-finalists so often are won by the home side, 28 of the 34 since they went to knockouts, 82% have been won by the home side. If this was neutral, you just couldn't call it. Sale against Leicester, two teams who play kind of similarly. There's a World Cup winner at 10 in Leicester's Andre Pollard. There's the great George Ford at 10 for Sale. There's England players littered across the pitch, homegrown talents and foreign stardust, not least from South Africa on both sides. But Sale's home advantage, they've been waiting for this home semi. Went to Exeter a couple of years ago and took a beating by the Chiefs on the road. This is where you want to be, Mark. Home semi-final, play to tournament stakes, and perhaps Sale just shaded from that point of view, but Leicester on a roll and they'll be absolutely desperate to retain their title.
Chris, Paul, thank you very much. Saracens Northampton on Sports Extra from 3:30. Sale Leicester is tomorrow. The Rugby Union Weekly available to download on BBC Sounds. Let's switch to racing. 3 weeks away from the Derby at Epsom. That will be live here on 5 Live, and the trials are coming thick and fast. We've had a big week's racing at Chester. We're now at Lingfield this afternoon. John Hunt joins us because one of the favourites of the Derby runs there this afternoon.
Indeed, Mark. Yes, good afternoon from Lingfield, where the sun is out. It's a beautiful day. Huge crowd as well here to enjoy the latest step towards the Derby, as you say, just 3 weeks away. And the horse you referred to, Mark, in the Derby trial this afternoon is a horse called Military Order, who is trained by Charlie Appleby and will be ridden this afternoon by William Buick. And just a matter of 3 weeks ago at Newbury, he made quite an impression, storming to victory in a much lesser race. And that's the beauty of this time of year, because having impressed there, he's got to go and find a little bit more again to do it today and win decisively, and only then will, I'm sure, they'll give him the green light to go to Epsom in 3 weeks time to take on the very, very best. So these are very, very steep learning curves these horses have to take this time of year, and Military Order is as good as any of them so far. The King has a runner called Circle of Fire for Sir Michael Stout. He ran very well at Newmarket just over a week ago, so he's back in business again very quickly. And John Gosden, he has a very interesting runner as well today called Inquiring Minds, who won at Newcastle on his only ever start 2 weeks ago, and he's again taking another steep rise in the class to take on the trial aspirants this afternoon. Always an exciting day, Mark. You mentioned Chester with regard to the Derby. The big Derby trial there was won by Arrest for Frankie Dettori, and he went straight to joint favouritism for the Derby. Was the manner of his victory. And we'll have another big Derby trial on 5 Live next Thursday from York, the Dante Stakes. So it's a very, very exciting time of the year.
And the Oaks picture could be a bit clearer as well.
Should be, Mark. Yeah, the two horses there in the Oaks trial due off shortly, actually, at 3 o'clock. Be Happy, trained by Aidan O'Brien, who's won this race with Seventh Heaven and Baraka in recent years, and Charlie Appleby's Eternal Hope is also in the lineup as well there. So the Oaks trial looks a little thinner than the Derby trial. I think that's fair to say. I think whoever wins the Oaks trial will need to do so very impressive to book their ticket for the Oaks in 3 weeks time. And the big Oaks players so far, again referring back to Chester last week, Save the Last Dance won her trial by 22 lengths. She's the short price favourite for the Oaks already. She's trained by Aidan O'Brien. And Sir Michael Stout's exciting Infinite Cosmos is another one who waits for York next week. She'll run in the Musidora Stakes on Wednesday afternoon. So those two fillies set the standard so far. Be Happy and Eternal Hope, I think, will need to be very good in a few moments' time to join them.
Yeah, thank you very much, John. That Oaks Trial Fillies Stakes is at 3 o'clock. The Derby Trial Stakes at 3:35. 2:46. We're on our way to Old Trafford. That's our base at 3 o'clock for Manchester United Wolves. But first, here's Jill McKenzie.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you. Good afternoon. There's more disruption for rail passengers today as members of the RMT union stage another strike. 14 train companies are affected, with some running limited services. The RMT leader, Mick Lynch, wants a high-level summit with government ministers. Eurovision fans are descending on Liverpool as excitement builds for tonight's final. The UK is hosting on behalf of last year's winners, Ukraine. Organisers say it will reflect the culture of both places. The former Home Secretary, Priti Patel, is expected to accuse Rishi Sunak of contributing to the Conservative Party's huge losses in the recent local elections in England. She's speaking to a new grassroots group later, where she'll say the government should listen more closely to party members. And Ukraine's President Zelensky is visiting Rome for talks with Italian leaders and the Pope. The Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, has promised more weapons and money to Ukraine, but there isn't cross-party support for that within Italy.
Taking over Manchester United is the dream.
Any owners would be better because the Glazers have almost run into the ground.
It is a privilege to own a club like United.
Welcome to House Fire Football Club, the podcast where we follow the sale of Manchester United.
I'm Sammy Nugent.
I'm Simon Stone. And I'm Faisal Islam. We're keeping you up to date in the battle to buy one of the biggest clubs in the world.
A lot of fans would absolutely love if the new owner was a United fan.
Just can't wait for the Glazers to go.
If you're just joining us, make sure you go back to the very beginning of the series. This is a fascinating story that's about so much more than football.
House Fire Football Club. Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
So already today it finished Leeds 2, Newcastle 2 at Ellen Road. 2 penalties from Callum Wilson. Patrick Bamford had a penalty saved as well. The fan got into the technical area late on and confronted Eddie Howe. Junior Firpo was sent off, but we get reaction from a very busy afternoon at Ellen Road. We'll bring it to you here on 5 Live. The Old Firm was much calmer, with Rangers beating Celtic by 3 goals to 0. There are about 5 minutes left in Super League, and St Helens have been 12-0 down at home to Salford with a great second half and lead by 26 points to 12. Let's go around all our featured football matches this afternoon. We'll start with the League One playoff semi-final first leg between Bolton and Barnsley. Remember, last night Peterborough beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-0 in their first leg. Will Perry's at this one.
Yeah, Bolton are dreaming of a second trip to Wembley this season, having lifted the Football League trophy last month. Their manager Ian Evans says they're coming to the Boyle at just the right time as they hope to return to the Championship after 4 seasons away. This is actually the first time Bolton have been involved in the playoffs since 2001 when Sam Allardyce led them to the Premier League. A 4th meeting between these clubs this campaign. Bolton won 3-0 at Oakwell. It was 0-0 here in the league, with Barnsley knocking Bolton out of the FA Cup here in November. 6 Bolton changes from the win at Bristol City. Their top scorer Dion Charles is back in, and James Trafford returns in goal. As for Michael Duff's side, they're hoping for an instant return to the second tier, but 1 win in 5. Their form has dipped at a critical time, and history does not favour them. The last league win against Bolton for Barnsley all the way back in 1997. 2 Barnsley changes from the Peterborough defeat. Anderson and Tedic in for Cotter and Norwood. The winner over 2 legs, as you say, Mark, will most likely play Peterborough after they thrashed Sheffield Wednesday last night. The sun's shining here and they're expecting around 25,000.
Thank you very much, Will. Next, let's go to Wembley. The National League playoff final between Chesterfield and Notts County. It is a 3:30 kickoff. Chris Coles is at this one.
This is a mouth-watering playoff final, isn't it, Mark? Dripping with storylines. Can Notts County end a 4-year absence from the Football League? Can they banish their horrendous playoff record, beaten in 4 of the last 5 campaigns? Can they ensure their 107-point finish isn't in vain? Can 42-goal striker Macaulay Langstaff end the season with the ultimate accolade in a season full of personal acclaim? In their way, Chesterfield, now 5 years in non-league football, finished a full 23 points behind Notts County in the league. Not a little matter today. 40,000 here for a 5th-tier match. And in the many previews to this game, there's a great line penned by Daniel Story in The Eye. The great truth of following a sports team is that eventually you have to risk the worst day of your year for a shot at the best. And given the magnitude of this game for both and how difficult it is to get out of this league, that feels very appropriate.
Absolutely. Now, much later on, we're not going to go to these games yet, but much later on, other playoff games. Sunderland Luton, that's at 5:30. Salford Stockport Selhurst, Maz Farouk.
Still not mentioning flip-flops, Mark. But until Crystal Palace's place in the Premier League was assured a couple of weeks ago, Roy Hodgson had admitted he'd been looking at today's game as perhaps a crucial one, but both sides can now, of course, approach it very differently. Bournemouth are all but safe as well. They need just a point, regardless of what Leicester do on Monday now against Liverpool. A reminder, Jeffrey Schlupp isn't in the matchday squad for Palace. Will Hughes starts instead. Bournemouth have been urged to finish their season with some good performances and a flourish by their boss Gary O'Neill. There's a first start for them for Ilya Zabali, Chris Meckham's in as well, Adam Smith and Marcus Sinisi are named as subs.
Now Aston Villa's hopes of European qualification for the first time in over a decade have been hit by back-to-back defeats, but Unai Emery's side are on a 5-match winning run at home without conceding a goal. Pat Murphy.
And Emery refreshingly makes it quite clear in his programme notes he expects his Villa players to embrace the occasion today and forget all about pressure. One change from last week's defeat at Wolves. Bailey comes in for Traore. They must beat Tottenham to keep their Europa League hopes alive. Either way, the highest league position in 12 years beckons. Tottenham unchanged, but they're inconsistent. They've done well still to be in contention for Europe, despite the distractions, but a year ago they beat Arsenal 3-0. Now they're 24 points behind Arsenal. Still underachieving Tottenham. Only one trophy this century, back in 2008. Are you comatose or a sleeping giant, Mark, if the cap fits?
Thank you, Pat. Nottingham Forest did have some momentum in their bid to stay up. 2 wins out of their last 3. Can they take another step towards safety with a result at Chelsea? Statman John.
Well, they're leaving it late, aren't they, Forest? But they are stringing some results together just when it matters. As you say, 6 points from 9. And it's their home form that is saving them. 7 wins at the City Ground. That's more than Chelsea have had here this season. It's the away form that has been so damaging. Just 6 points, 1 win, 41 goals conceded. But they might just fancy getting something this afternoon. One change, Joe Worrell is in for Brennan Johnson, who drops out. Slightly surprising, he's their leading scorer. Chelsea's last home win in the league was at the beginning of March, so they are vulnerable. Frank Lampard's made 5 changes. Edouard Mendy starts in goal. Didn't see that one coming. His last appearance the 12th of November. Also in Kovacic, Felix, Lewis Hall, his 5th league start, and Raheem Sterling. But it's a big afternoon for Forest. I suspect with Arsenal at home next, they'll need something from the final 2 away games, either here or at Palace on the final day. And Mark, Steve Cooper might not be quite so animated this afternoon. He cricked his neck sleeping last night, and he is walking around very gingerly.
Thank you very much, John. Before we go to St Mary's for Southampton, Fulham and Old Trafford for Manchester United Wolves, let's head back to Super League all over. Dave Woods.
Yeah, St Helens 26, Salford at 12. Salford led 12-0 with 17 minutes played. Saints got a try back just before the break. They didn't look too far off the pace, and the second half they came out absolutely firing. 4 tries in 14 minutes after the turnaround. Siren and Lomax, Makinson and Batchelor all scoring. A bit like the old Saints again today. They've beaten Salford by 26 points to 12.
Let's go back to the Premier League. Equation is very simple for Southampton. They must win this afternoon or they are down. John Akers.
Yeah, they're also down if Nottingham Forest avoid defeat at Chelsea today and Everton beat Manchester City tomorrow. Looks pretty bleak for them, doesn't it? Let's say they do beat Fulham here, win at Brighton and then at home to Liverpool on the final day. They'd still have to hope that in all probability one of Everton or Forest lose all 3 of their remaining matches. 2 changes for Saints from the 4-3 defeat at Forest. Bella Kotchap's out for the season with a hamstring. Lianco comes in. Onuachu starts just his 4th game of the season in what's likely to be a 4-3-3 again. And for Fulham, Alexander Mitrovic returns from his 8-match ban, but he's only on the bench. The starting lineup is unchanged from the team that beat Leicester 5-3.
Let's go back to Elland Road. Leeds still in the bottom 3 after a 2-2 draw with Newcastle. 2 penalties for Newcastle. A penalty missed by Patrick Bamford for Leeds. A red card late on for Junior Firpo. Here's Sam Allardyce with Steve Brown.
Some crazy game. I bet you're proud of your players at the end of it.
Crazy? It's an understatement, isn't it? I don't believe we know what's happened down there, what we've actually done to ourselves today. You know, on such a spirited and gritty and determined fight and a little bit of quality here and there, and then ended up with 3 penalties, 2 against us and 1 we missed. That would have made life an awful lot easier today. We scored a penalty to go 2-0 up, and I believe we would have won that game, but we didn't. And then we go shooting ourselves in the foot by giving the penalty away, then another one, then we get a player sent off. But in between that, we've scored a great second goal for the equaliser. So it is a tremendous point, considering the circumstances that we've left ourselves in, that we really shouldn't have done. So obviously I'd been talking most of the week from last week about staying on your feet, and we still haven't listened. And maybe that's the pressure, who knows, but certainly they're going to have to listen next week, going into next week, because we can't afford to be making rash tackles like we did today.
You can see it all Match of the Day, which tonight, because of Eurovision, is on BBC 2 from 10 o'clock. Team's already out at Old Trafford, a couple of minutes away from kick-off. This is our base, but with all the goals as they go in the playoffs, in the company of Pat Nevin and Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Mark. Well, what a glorious afternoon it is here at Old Trafford. There's hardly a cloud in the sky, the sun is shining as the two teams are just, well, the Manchester United players walking down the Wolves line, shaking their hands. Wolves, of course, well, they're safe from many of the perils that Leeds United and Sam Allardyce might be facing now. And as for Manchester United, well, like Newcastle, they need the points because of the pressure that Liverpool are putting on them in the race for the top four and Champions League qualification. So Manchester United need a maximum of 9 points from their 4 remaining games. But of course they've suffered of late, although they do have a very good home record here at Old Trafford. The team news is 3 changes for Manchester United. There's no Marcus Rashford, incidentally. He's out with a leg injury, so he's not involved at all. Sancho comes in, Martial for Weghorst, and Varane makes a welcome return for Malacia in defence. He's missed the last 7 games as Raphael Varane. So De Gea is in goal, a back 4 of Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Lindelof and Shaw. The midfield of Casemiro, Fernandes and Eriksen, Sancho, Martial and Anthony. The one change for Wolves is in goal, as they're in their change strip, the all light grey. Daniel Bentley making his Wolverhampton Wanderers debut, and a Premier League debut replacing Jose Sarr, who signed him from Bristol City in January on a 2.5-year deal. Semedo, Dawson, Kilman and Totti Gomez, Neto, Lamina, Neves and Mateus Nunes, Diego Costa and Mateus Cunha are the 2 up front. Pat Nevin, what do you make of it?
Yeah, well, Wolves are safe now, so they can afford to go 2 up front again. They've been doing it this season. It's worked really well for them at home, but not necessarily particularly well for them away from home. So I actually applaud them for being so positive about it. It will make for hopefully a more open game, because Wolves have got those 2 strikers up front. But I think the big talking point is who's going to score the goals for Manchester United. They need goals, and as the chappers were saying earlier on, this is very close to a must-win for Manchester United if they think they're going to get top 4 this season.
Well, it is when you consider that they've dropped 8 points out of a possible 12 in their last 4. Their only win was against Villa. Of course, we'll keep you up to date with the other games that are taking place around the country, most notably at St Mary's, Southampton, Fulham, where, well, I mean, Southampton are basically down anyway. They're going to need a miracle to survive, but to keep their faintest of faint hopes alive, then they do need to beat Fulham today at St Mary's, but it's surely just a question of when. Anyway, we're underway here at Old Trafford in the bright sunshine, and Manchester United are defending the Stretford end as they play from left to right as we look here on BBC Radio 5 Live, and also available on BBC Sounds. And Wan-Bissaka straight away gets the ball towards Anthony, who's going to cut inside onto his left foot and tries to get the shot away, but he was closed down by Lamina.
Yeah, I think we all knew what he was going to do there. We were talking about it before the game. Anthony does that a lot. As long as he adapts it and changes it a little bit. Very noticeable. Wan-Bissaka goes flying wide of him on that occasion. That's really helpful for Anthony if you're going to change it and do something slightly different.
Here is Anthony once again. Wan-Bissaka back towards Anthony onto his left foot, just away from the right corner of the area. Played back by Wan-Bissaka to Sancho. And Wolves defending very, very deep in and around their penalty area, and then Diego Costa hurtles after Lindelof as they try and break out of defence, and the ball from Varane will be tidied up eventually by Lindelof. The interesting thing about Anthony, when we were in midweek in San Siro, and you were saying about Messias just constantly cuts in every time. Anthony, every time I see him, does exactly the same for United.
We chatted about it beforehand. You were away at World Service, and I was they're saying like he needs to adapt it now and again. He needs to. The Premier League defenders aren't stupid. They know that's what you want to do. They just show you into traffic all the time, so you need to switch it now and again. Noticeable Wan-Bissaka, where he's standing just now, he's actually making decisions for Anthony by going really high up, almost as an inside forward.
Ball is out to Anthony once again, who plays the ball inside, gets it from Martial, and the return ball from Sancho on the edge of the penalty area with his back to goal went astray. Casemiro then on the stretch trying to play it forward, and it goes out of play for a Wolves throw in front of their travelling support in that quadrant away towards our right hand side. Earlier, Rangers beat Celtic by 3-0 at Ibrox, and as you may have heard, Leeds United 2, Newcastle United 2 was a full-time result at Ellen Road. So Leeds are a point off safety with 2 games to play, and we'll keep you in touch with that key game down at the bottom, not just Southampton Fulham, but Chelsea Nottingham Forest. But we're going to go racing now. It's the Oaks Trial at Linfield. John Hunt.
Heading towards halfway here in similarly glorious sunshine to you at Old Trafford, Ian, and the Oaks Trial then is underway. Can any of these fillies stamp their claim for the third of the British Classics to take place at Epsom in 3 weeks' time? Well, at the moment, the pace, what there is at the pace, is being set by Sunset Point, with one of 2 runners in the race trained by Charlie Appleby. His other runner, the choice of William Buick, is Eternal Hope, settled back in 4th place. Half a mile left to run. Be Happy, the favourite for this afternoon's trial, is right up on the outside, trained by Aidan O'Brien. She runs here instead of York next week. Perfect Profit is in behind this, but being driven along. Garra's going okay, and Bright Diamond as well, as they begin the turn now back towards home. And as they do so, Sunset Point being challenged by Be Happy and also Eternal Hope around the outside. And these 3 now go on a little bit from Garra back in 4th place, and then comes Perfect Profit. So now one of these fillies will have to stamp their authority on the race and win impressively. And at the moment, no one's really going clear. Eternal Hope working her way to the front from Be Happy. They're going to finish in a bunch in behind them, but it is Eternal Hope who goes on to win from Be Happy, and then Ferrari Queen ran on next with Garra. Ian, I wouldn't think that would have any great ripple on the Oaks itself. Eternal Hope has won it all right, but scarcely impressively, and there'll be better horses in Epsom in 3 weeks' time, I'm sure of that.
Thank you, John, and we'll be back with you just after 3:30 for the Derby trial at Linfield. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live here at Old Trafford. Yet to be any goals elsewhere around the country. We've got reporters out and about, not just in the Premier League, but that League One playoff. We talked earlier on about the bottom of the Premier League and the bottom of the Scottish Premiership. Very, very tight. Kilmarnock are at home to Livingston today. That remains 0-0 for Pat's former side at Rugby Park. But Dundee United 0. Bottom of the table, Ross County 1. So Ross County have scored an early goal at Tannadice. 5 minutes in here. What have you made of the early stages, Pat?
Yeah, just intriguing looking at each other, both teams. Very noticeable that Wolves are defending quite deep, but have to go long because they do have 2 strikers up there. They can hit it long too close to Lord Cunha. But one of the things they are trying to do is they're trying to get Neto in behind Wan-Bissaka, who's pushing up high. Neto's always looking in to get into that gap. I think that was one of the major ploys you're going to get from Wolves today.
Wolves with Dawson at the heart of their defence. They're playing from right to left. They're attacking the Stretford end, for those of you who know Old Trafford, as we welcome listeners to the BBC World Service here to Old Trafford for our coverage. So wherever you are in the world, it was a pleasure to have your company. We're 6 minutes in. It's Manchester United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, but there's no goals at Villa Park, or indeed at Stamford Bridge, Selhurst Park, or between Southampton and Fulham elsewhere. There's Leeds United 2, Newcastle 2, and Rangers 3, Celtic 0 with the results just in case you missed it. As it's a throw to Manchester United in front of the main stand. They've made 3 alterations today. Eric Ten Hag have lost their last 2 games, although notably they were both away from home. They're protecting this long undefeated record here in all competitions of 26 games as Eriksson shoots from distance. 25 yards out, left-footed, couldn't keep it down. Goal kick to Wolves.
Good position they actually got there, but just 2 things to notice. Both keepers have tried to play it out from the back at the start of the game, and neither has been able to do so. But you wouldn't notice the fact that Bentley's get caught out almost there. But you do notice when it's there, because everyone's talking about him. He's given a hospital ball in the first occasion there, so he'll be blamed even though it wasn't his fault.
That's Daniel Bentley, who Pat is referring to, making his Wolves and Premier League debut here this afternoon. Key game down at the bottom, it's at Stamford Bridge. John Southall.
Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 0, but early chance for Forest. A corner on the right hand side. Felipe flying into the near post, bulleted a header wide. Chelsea 0, Forest 0.
If they could win, then they would go 5 points clear, although they do have the worst away record in the Premier League. Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are the lowest scorers in the top flight, have just got a corner kick.
Yeah, and another stinker of a pass back to get hit De Gea. Now, why do you do that? It's unthinkable to give a ball from 40 yards back, just bouncing up about his chest and far too fast. Another dreadful pass back to De Gea under pressure.
Neto stands over it on this near side, the left. Neves is with him. Neves is now going to just walk away. Neto makes it, swings it in, and it was met on the half volley by Dawson, left-footed, off target, always on the rise. Goal kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, but it did look like a training ground one, didn't it? Yeah, everyone dragged to the back post, and he just sneaks round there. Yeah, that's a training ground one. He knew exactly where he was going. So did Neto, just couldn't get it on target.
There's been a goal at Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Aston Villa, and it's scored by the local boy Jacob Ramsey. They love him round here, one of our own they call him. Great move, good cross from Bailey, right foot on the turn, 10 yards out. Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
Thank you, Pat. Remains 0-0 between Chelsea and Forest, Palace and Bournemouth. But Manchester United now have an opening, and it's Anthony. Anthony to the edge of the area. Anthony tries to place it there, put it in place, it just wide.
What a shame from there, because that's a great opportunity there. Should be able to get it on target. It's exactly where he wants to be. Terrible mistake in Wolves defence. Just a slip, but it's a mistake anyway. Anthony gets the ball in the forward position, and it's on his left foot. There's the curl into the far corner, the one that he loves.
charge would have expected that. And they go, potentially, is the live league table 5 points clear.
And that would be enough, I think. That would be enough for Forest, I think, if it got to that incredible start for them. But will they keep on playing at their high tempo, or will they just sit back and hold it for the rest of the game?
Yeah, they'd be 5 points clear of Leeds United, who drew 2-2 at home to Newcastle today. Looking to build on that victory against Southampton, which was always going to be key. Their home form throughout this season has been key, as a yellow card is shown to Diego Costa, and he's booked by referee John Brooks.
I think he did try and get the ball, but it was such a clumsy sliding tackle. It's one of those, if you don't get the ball, they're not so stickling to get booked. And it's almost a scissors reaction at the end of it as well. Definitely looking at that. We've seen that from Diego Costa in the past, haven't we? Once or twice. Just a little. It's quite early in the game for him to be yellow card, but consider the style of play that he certainly had at his very best. He took care of himself, I think.
Let's get an update from Selhurst Park. That's Faruqi.
Goalless here, all smiles on the touchline as well between the managers. Very little riding on this game. Tempo's been decent. Zaha's gone down under a billing challenge in the area. No penalty, says the referee. Palace 0, Bournemouth 0.
There's a lot riding on this one for a Manchester United side that have stood it of late, but it's been quite a slow start this opening quarter of an hour.
Yeah, with moments in the break, a couple of times Sancho's got the ball. Waiting at your commentary now. When they sit it, when they play it quickly, they look much, much better. The thing is, they've not been doing that often enough in the first 15 minutes of Manchester United.
Well, they're attacking now, and the ball is played forward towards Martial, down by the byline on that left-hand side. Wolves deal with it. Manchester United win it back quickly through Shaw. Fernandes waits on the edge of the area, had a lack of options, had to go back. Now it's with Shaw, back out towards Sancho, down towards the corner flag he goes, tries to get round the back, and overruns it. Goal kick, and it remains 0-0. And in the League One playoffs last night, Peterborough hammered Sheffield Wednesday 4-0. They will play Bolton or Barnsley, the other semi will Perry watching.
Bolton 0, Barnsley 0. The best chance for the home side. Kachunga's cross for Charles, who from 8 yards fired first time just over the bar. A good chance for Kachunga himself from a Bolton corner. Couldn't steer his shot goalwards. 10 inch with an effort. Brought down the other end by Santos. Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
We also have Chris Coles at Wembley for the National League playoff final. Chesterfield and Notts County. That gets underway at 3:30 to see who will be joining Wrexham in the Football League next season. Nottingham Forest have taken a decisive step towards staying in the Premier League. If you've just joined us, they're leading at Stamford Bridge by a 1-0. As Wolverhampton Wanderers are attacking. Semedo, far side the right, playing from right to left. And then the ball is played back by Lamina. And then to Kilman, just to the left of the centre circle. Now he finds Neto, providing the width on this near side as they attack the Stretford end. Totti, back there to Kilman. Every outfield player actually is in Manchester United half. Neves, once again, been heavily linked with the move to Barcelona. His contract runs out in 2024, so look at this summer. If Wolves are to cash in on Ruben Neves, as there's no other goals elsewhere to do about. Kilman across to Totti. Go on, Wanderers is the cry from the travelling support. Look comfortable in possession, actually.
The one time that I was going to say, calm, relax, you're not panicking to make a good talk, but neither they should be. I mean, they're safe now, they've done what they had to do this season. And when they've got the ball in field, particularly Lamina gets the ball removed to them well, he's also got a job to do. Bruno Fernandes, so far he's done that job very well.
Well, they won here last season, did Wolverhampton Wanderers by a 1-0. It was a late goal from Moutinho. That was actually their first win in 14 attempts since 1980, as Martial is on the attack, tries to play the ball in low on the penalty area on that left-hand side, and it's cleared. And now Mateus will run out towards that far side, the right, midway through his own half, holds onto the ball, runs in field. Neves, under pressure, gives it away cheaply to Casemiro, but then it was straight back into Mateus. Wolves who are back in possession, and it's a simpler ball this time, just to his left to find Neves, and he waits for Totti to join the attack, and he runs forward over the halfway line to the feet of Neto, 6 yards inside the United half. Now to the left of the centre circle to Lamina. Semedo gets forward on that far side, the right, and then eventually finds Semedo by using Craig Dawson in the meantime.
I mean, they are really calm. Another slip there on the far side there. A couple of times the Wolves
sets of players. Neves now will run forward, urged on by Lopetegui. He finds Neto. Neto on this near side the left. Wan-Bissaka back pedals towards the penalty area. Neto delivers the ball in low, cleared by Varane. Neves though will play it back and just lays it forward towards Neto. Wan-Bissaka in front of him, doesn't attempt to cross this time, plays it back to Totti. He goes square and inside to Lamina. 20 minutes played and still 0-0.
Again, that canvas from the get there, but there's no cutting edge at the moment for Wolves. You look at Diego Costa up front, you can't go beyond the defence, he's not got the pace to do that, so he needs to win the battle there, and at the moment he's not getting a sniff of it. By the way, if you ever do go back to John Southall at Chelsea, you can ask him who's playing up front for Chelsea. Is it Sterling or is it Felix?
We'll find out now, Pat.
Well, Pat, that is a very good question, and I can tell you that it is Raheem Sterling, and he has just missed a great chance through the middle for Chelsea. Forest lead by 1-0. Raheem Sterling through on goal. Absolutely no conviction in the shot, not by Joe Moore. Chelsea 0, Forest 1.
Semedo. Up on the byline right hand side, swings over across for Wolves, over the head of Diego Costa, formerly of Chelsea. Anthony back on defensive duties to Bruno Fernandes. They try and combine, but there is Lamina to help with it. Last touch came on Totti. It'll be United throw, and on ball boy duties it's Eric Ten Hag, but it never went out of play in the Wolves half, so Casemiro is going to have to go back at least 6 yards.
And it is intriguing, you're right. I mean, United are probably slightly the better side, but there's not a massive amount of urgency. And when you consider how important this game is just now, and the way this sets the top four, the difference that can make with players that they might be able to buy next season, and they might have new owners. What a massive, massive game this is. Doesn't quite feel like it yet, does it, on that pitch?
It certainly doesn't. It remains 0-0. Not a great deal of urgency. The Manchester United supporters, some of them bathing in the sunshine. As here is Anthony once again coming in on that right touchline, passes the ball back. Now it's with Lindelof to Eriksen. Shaw quite high on that far side, the left. Back with Lindelof once again it goes. Lindelof passes the ball towards Varane. Wolves drop off. Varane will shoot, and that was a very ambitious effort, right-footed and screwed well wide for a goal kick. 0-0.
I'll translate. Ambitious, awful. It was absolutely terrible, wasn't it? Miles off target. Didn't catch anywhere near it as well. What the United fans usually do, they've got the points just now, but what they usually do when they see a team not playing to the level they expect, what they tend to do is they lift on themselves. They might have to do that. Maybe a little reminder that the team who will get top four, if they don't get it, is likely to be Liverpool, which should raise them a bit.
Liverpool, who take on Leicester City on Monday. The referee will give a free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Before that can be taken, we're going to go back to St Mary's. John Akers.
Southampton 0, Fulham 0 as Southampton come forward. They've just had a chance. Then first of the game from Onuachu, just starting his fourth game of the season, a right foot shot saved by Leno. Straight up the other end of Fulham, who've been on top so far. Vinicius with a volley block from 8 yards. Southampton 0, Fulham 0.
Well, we're midway through the first half here, and we're yet to have a serious shot on target. 0-0.
Yeah, not much close to it really. I think the best chance did fall to Anthony, and that was not great play, just from a slip from the Wolves central defence there. But just a moment there, Lindelof not getting a yellow card there when Diego Costa did for a not dissimilar challenge beforehand. I think he's a lucky boy in that way.
Referee John Brooks just having a stern talking to Lindelof, who makes his way back to the United back line as the free kick is taken short and quickly, and then it was Cunha who tried to whip over the cross from the right. Wolves will get a throw 6 yards up from the corner flag.
Terrible defence by Manchester United. Switched off. You can't switch off situations like that. It's about 40 yards out, the free kick's been taken, and then you can play it into a player in the box who's got no one near him. Got to have more concentration than that.
Remember, in the top flight, Aston Villa are ahead, leading Tottenham by 1-0 at Villa Park. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1 is the big scoreline so far this afternoon of the 3 o'clock games. No goals at Selhurst Park or indeed at St Mary's, so as it stands, Southampton will be relegated, and also no goals here between Manchester United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. But Wolves have got a throw on the right-hand side for what is an extremely quiet Old Trafford at the moment, apart from the singing travelling contingent away towards our right.
They're making that very point themselves.
And Neto wins a corner. You're on good form today, Pat.
Yep, Wolves want to be in good form just now because they've got a couple of corner kicks, haven't they? They've got themselves into slightly dangerous areas. The delivery has been good, apart from the first one where they had a volley in the near post. I wonder if they'll get something else up their sleeves here for this next one.
Well, it's a corner kick on the right hand side. Manchester United have got everybody back. It's an away swinger, and it's easily headed out by Lindelof inside that Manchester United penalty area. Comes back to Mina. Sometimes you make subtle remarks, and sometimes less so subtle. We're going to get an update from Pat Murphy at Villa Park.
Villa still beating Tottenham 1-0, but the Villa fans held their breath. Son beat the offside trap. We all thought it's got to be a formality. Took it around the keeper, hit the post. Follow-up shot from Kane, saved, and then anticlimactically, the linesman, the referee, woke up and they gave offside. It's still Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
And what about at Stamford Bridge, John Southall?
Still Chelsea 0, Forest 1. Forest looking for a second though. Danilo on the left of the penalty area. Shot blocked by Shalabar, and Lodi's just smashed one over the bar. Chelsea 0, Forest 1.
They'll be hoping for better fortune than the last time that they went to West London, where they were leading, and in the end they got mugged at the end by Brentford and ended up losing by 2-1. But as it stands, looking to go 5 points clear of the relegation zone. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. No goals at Palace, no goals at Southampton, no goals here, but Manchester United have been awarded a free kick not too far away from the left corner of the box.
Yeah, that's complacent. Bruno Fernandes has gone down. I don't agree with that on this occasion. I think he was at his foot trodden on. It's in a dangerous area, as you say, 5 yards out, but I mean, it's very, very wide. It's one of those ones you don't practice this one too often from that sort of angle. So, see if Bruno Fernandes can fashion something from that.
So Bruno Fernandes carefully places the ball down. It's 24 yards out from goal. Wolves have everybody back inside their penalty area. It's a direct free kick. Fernandes with his arms down by his side, focused, concentrated, runs forward now. Right footed, moves in the air. Bentley did well actually to hang on to that. The debutant for Wolves, onto his toes, moved one step away from his right and caught the ball.
Because that's what you should be doing. His new goalkeeper is his first start for the team this season. He's got to try it, so okay, it's sort of a distance out, it's contained to see it, but it vicious, it was whipped. Not enough in the corner, but it's actually well done.
The short handling from Bentley back to Fernandes, who'll go again. This time he strikes the back of the legs of Sancho. Comes out to Ericsson, who hits it. And Ericsson, right footed, he was a little bit further out, must have been closer to 30 yards out. Bentley had it covered, and he one bounce and he marshalled the ball out for a goal kick. Now Tannadice. Dundee United have equalised at home to bottom of the table, Ross County. Dundee United 1, Ross County 1. And Alloa in that championship playoff, although they're still leading at Hamilton by a goal to 2-0 on aggregate. They are now down to 10 men because George Stenker has been sent off. Bentley prepares to take the goal kick. 5 live at BBC Sounds and the World Service 0-0 here.
Much better for Manchester United. They get a couple of shots at goal now, they're asking a couple of questions. They should be doing that. Goalkeeper, it's just, as I say, it's just one ball there, as far as it in there. They want to get on target, but it's a better attitude that Manchester United have shown in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
And what about Wolverhampton 1? Bearing in mind we are watching the lowest scores in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, well, that's the game plan, isn't it? They play in the break when they possibly can. And particularly look well this season, sitting there away from goal. He needed to take it. He needed to get from something, didn't he? He got that sort
Foster in the Tottenham goal. Magnificent save just now, stretching one-handed to his left. Watkins set up Bailey. Should have scored, but what a great save. On top of that, McGinn's been booked for a foul on Kane. Words. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
Spurs got their first win in 5 against Crystal Palace, as Aston Villa, after back-to-back defeats, are looking to return to winning ways. Remember, Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Crystal Palace 0, Bournemouth 0, Southampton 0, Fulham 0, and Manchester United. With this win, we've level with Newcastle on 66 points, so Liverpool would be 4 points behind those two sides, and they would have all played 35 games. Let's go back to Selhurst Park. That's Faruqi.
0-0 here, but there was a VAR check for a possible red card for Anderson for violent conduct as the corner came in from the right for Palace. His fist connected with Lerma's nose. The Bournemouth player went down. No red cards, said the VAR officials. Palace 0, Bournemouth 0.
Newcastle United will stay third, though, as it stands, because of their far superior goal difference over Manchester United, who are leading 1-0. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, just the Wolves just now, the real worry for them is they don't seem to have any pace to get beyond that United defence. So they get any possessions, they may get a corner kick or something out of it, but other than that, they just haven't looked in any way dangerous at all. And United now look much more relaxed now that they've got that goal.
Manchester United then with the slender lead through this man Martial, left corner area to Sancho. No Rashford today, not involved. A leg injury. He didn't oversleep this time. If you recall, when they played back at Molineux, he was dropped to the bench after missing that team meeting through oversleeping. Who would ever do such a thing? As the ball goes back with Lindelof towards David De Gea. Before you can say anything, we're going to John Southall.
Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1, but a chance for João Felix. Lovely ball in from Lewis Hall on the left-hand side. He was unmarked, but his header was a comfortable save for Navas to his left-hand side. Chelsea 0, Forest 1.
Well, we're going racing very, very soon to Lingfield, where earlier Eternal Hope won the Oaks trial. It'll be the Derby trial next up. Eternal Hope is something that many football fans, of course, can relate to at this time of the season, as the ball is forward to Cunha. He was took back a little bit there by Eriksson. The referee's twice actually played the advantage, and then at the third time he was brought to ground. He shows a card to Casemiro. I've got to say, I feel a little bit unfortunate there for Casemiro, because there was 2 fouls on Cunha before he eventually stopped him in his tracks.
And I think the 2 fouls on him were worse than the one Casemiro. Eriksson one was a drag back. Casemiro comes over at the end there, and because he's the final one, he's the one that has to get the card. I've shown him.
Wolves trail 1-0 here at Old Trafford. Villa 1, Tottenham 0, Chelsea 0, Forest 1. Wolves with Dawson in the centre circle. Out to the right it goes. Neto's actually stayed on that right, so he's switched now with Mateus. That's a permanent switch made by Julian Lopetegui, the Wolves coach, who has steered Wolves to safety, as Pat quite rightly says, primarily with their form at Molineux. 29 of their 40 points have come at home. Bentley in goal. Plays it short and square. Manchester United drop off, and in the sunshine, for what at times has been played at a rather sedate pace, they play the ball out from the back. And as promised, this is the Derby trial at Lingfield. Your commentator as ever, John Hunt.
And all eyes here on Military Order, who's the hot favourite for this afternoon's trial, and is joint favourite as things stands for the Derby itself in 3 weeks' time. But he's now got to underline his immense potential. He's buried away in the pack here, 5th place, close up with half a mile left to go. Regal Empire's the leader. Waipiro is towards the wide outside, and Inquiring Minds even wider. Then creeping closer, Military Order. Military Order's joined by Nadawi on the inside. The Royal Runner, the King's Circle of Fire, settled last of all, but well in touch, and now starting to move forward as Think First, the rank outsider, drops away. A lovely gap appears on the inside for Military Order, and he looks like he's in the mood to take it. Waipiro is the one who chases him into the home straight. Military Order and Waipiro, the two have drawn impressively clear. Military Order having to work though to put this to bed, and Waipiro's giving him loads to think about here. Half a furlong left to go. Military Order just in front from Waipiro. Circle of Fire back in third place. It is Military Order who wins. He's won by a length and a half from Waipiro. The nice thing about that race, Ian, was that they pulled about 6 lengths clear of the third horse, Circle of Fire. He wasn't wildly impressive, but you would imagine Military Order is Epsom bound in 3 weeks' time for the Derby.
Thank you very much, John. I'm sure there might be further reflections on the day's racing at Lingfield in Sports Report. A full hour from 5 o'clock with Mark Chapman, the results and the reaction throughout the afternoon from 5. You haven't missed anything whilst we've been away. Still 1-0 to Manchester United. Villa 1, Tottenham 0. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. No goals at Palace or Southampton. Now a 3:30 kick-off in the National League playoff final at Wembley, and there's been an early goal. Chris Coles.
And an early goal for Chesterfield, who take the lead from the penalty spot. They've had an excellent start to the game. Andrew Dallas, fouled by Sam Slocum, the goalkeeper. Dallas himself stood up, took the penalty straight down the middle, and it's advantage Chesterfield with 8 minutes play. Chesterfield 1, Notts County 0.
And Hamilton have got a goal back. Hamilton 1 at 10 men and Alloa 2 in the Scottish Championship playoff. And that means that it's 3-1 on aggregate to Alloa. But of course they are down to 10 men. Pat?
Yeah, just we have to talk about it slightly, what we were doing Wednesday night. Was it 76,000 people?
I didn't sleep in.
For once. And everyone's screaming like the whole way through it. It's the same or maybe more people here today. It's bordering on silent for long periods, isn't it? And this is a very, very important game.
Something to keep us alive is a goal at Selhurst Park and that's Farouk.
First shot on target all match. First goal for Palace. Palace 1, Bournemouth 0. SA scorer, but all the hard work done in the build-up on the left-hand side from Wilf Zaha. Palace 1, Bournemouth 0.
Hamilton 2, Alloa 2 is now a latest score in that Scottish Championship playoff. There's been a try in the Premiership semi-finals at Saracens. Adam Whitty.
After a thrilling start, Saracens are taking the lead after 6 minutes. Alex Good's glorious grubber kick bobbled and bounced into the hands of the on-pressing Sean Maitland, who cut inside to score. Farrell converted, so it's Saracens 7, Northampton 0, 8 minutes gone.
And commentary of that continues on 5 Sports Extra. St Mirren are leading Hearts by a goal to 0 in the Scottish Premiership. It means that Hamilton goal, by the way, that Alloa now with only 10 men are leading 3-2 on aggregate. And I think that means that we're up to date so far here on BBC Radio 5 Live. As Fernandez forward, it's a corner kick before the corner. To St Mary's, John Opens. Ericsson then to take a corner kick for Manchester United. 4 minutes to go to half-time, leading by a goal to 0 in the race for Champions League football for next season. Ericsson right up against the advertising hoardings on that far side. Wolverhampton Wanderers have every one of their grey shirts back. It's going to be swung in by Ericsson. Takes a little touch there off Lindelof, and then another deflection, and it required Bentley to react very, very quickly. It was looping and dropping into his goal before he's fisted it behind.
Yeah, one of those ones where, he's in a bad position, but through no fault of his own, but he manages to make himself very big, gets behind it. I wonder if it would have hit the crossbar, but he couldn't take that sort of chance. And to be honest, he's actually impressed Bentley today. He said 3 or 4 things to do, there's nothing he can do about the goal at all. 3 or 4 wrong things he's had to do, he's done really impressive.
I remember seeing him back in the day when he was at Southend United for an FA Cup night at Roots Hall. He's since been to Brentford before going to Ashton Gate and now at Molyneux. Corner taken short on the right hand side. Hasn't been effectively dealt with just as yet as the header then from Varane is picked up by Bentley, and he's hurled that. He's actually thrown it into the Manchester United half. That's where the first bounce was, but what running back that was from Shaw. Strike for strike with Neto, made the sliding challenge, because otherwise the hair was exposed.
Yeah, usually when you get a 1-for-1, it's a foot race, and you think we can't afford to lose it, and then you see the number, it's 23 Shaw, you think, yeah, he'll get that. And he did, because he's got just phenomenal pace.
Here is Lamina back with Dawson. Just over 2 minutes remaining in normal time here at Old Trafford. Yeah, the story of the afternoon though is at Stamford Bridge, where Nottingham Forest still lead by a goal to 0. As now it's with Kilman. He's going to join the attack from defence. Looked like he was going to shoot at one stage. He's been caught in possession, but Kilman then helps win it back. out towards Totti. Totti towards Kilman. He's overhit that. To Villa Park we go, Pat Murphy.
1-0 Villa, should be more though. Two lovely moves. Luiz to Marino, terrific low cross. Watkins diving header missed. Just now Buendia hit the top of the bar. Again, great work from Marino. Will they regret this, missing these chances, Villa? They lead Tottenham 1-0.
If it's tight between Hamilton and Alloa in the Scottish Championship playoff semi-final, it's certainly not the case in the other one. Falkirk 0, Airdrie 1. Those diamonds are shining brightly as they now lead 7-2 on aggregate with that goal just before half-time. BBC Radio 5 Live, here's Pat Nevin.
Yeah, if you're a Wolves fan, you're thinking, can you get Neves into the game? You know, he's not actually held the ball, he's not done anything special yet, but you know he is capable of it. However, a break now.
Mateus on the overlap. Totti enters the penalty area. His cross was blocked by Varane. Real boost for United to have Varane back in the side after missing the last 7 games. Out it goes for a Wolves throw.
Yeah, it had to be good there. That's the first time they got to the byline there, the left-hand side. Again, another player slipping, which led to that opportunity there for Wolves. But, you know, they've done okay. But to be fair, this doesn't look like a team that's having to fight too much, does it? Not exactly going through the motions, but it's not a fighting, battling performance that you would see from a team down the bottom of the league.
So on such a gorgeous day, as Wolves were awarded a free kick, the reason that the players are slipping, the ground staff have overwatered the pitch?
Yeah, I was down there beforehand doing the piece to Cameron, and they were watering it from 12:30. So, you know, I think they were expecting a lot more sunshine than we've got. Yeah, the sunshine's there, it's just a bit weak.
Well, this Wolves free kick is just a few yards away from the left corner of the area. There's going to be 2 minutes of added on time, which we're going to go into in about 5 seconds. The board is yet to go up. Wolves are trailing by 1-0 here at Old Trafford. There indeed is the board from the fourth official, who is Andre Mariner down there. As Neto swings over the free kick, it hasn't been dealt with. It's eventually cleared only as far as Dawson, heads it back on the edge of the area. Flick header by Totti, headed away by Wan-Bissaka. There is a crowd inside Old Trafford as Mateus swings over the cross. That was a ball that Neves couldn't control, and Anthony will bring it away. And Anthony strong running now, and then Anthony shrugs off the challenge of Neto. Referee plays the advantage. Anthony again, he's got support with Sancho. He didn't find Sancho, he went to go it alone. Instead he finds Martial, who scooped effort is straight at Bentley. If he releases the ball early, it's all Sancho is in.
Yeah, I mean, that is quite frustrating watching him play there, because Anthony's pace was brilliant. He was brave as well. He's flown up that wing there. He's torn the defence apart and then makes the wrong call. You need to know when to make that pass. It might only be available for a second, but you need to be able to see it. On that occasion, once again, he wasn't able to see it.
Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0, Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Crystal Palace 1, Bournemouth 0, Southampton 0, Fulham 0. 1-0 to Manchester United here, going around the grounds for further detail with Mark Chapman at half-time on BBC Radio 5 Live. And if you're listening to Sports World, likewise with Lee James on the World Service.
You have to be very careful with Manchester United, don't they? Because these are the games that can be like this, you know. It can be 1-up, you can feel as if you're cruising. It only takes one chance, it only takes one mistake, it only takes giving away a penalty kick. And, you know, their season could be completely changed here. They need one more goal, then they can completely relax.
Casemiro switches play. Martial coming in off that left touchline. The ball won't go with him. Now it will. Tries to roll it in. Sancho pulls it back. Fernandes hits it first time outside the area, right-footed. And there indeed is the half-time whistle. But I can tell you that Hamilton, who are now leading Alloa by 4 goals to 2. So that sending off of George Stanger is... really cost Alloa, because at one stage they were 3-0 up on aggregate, but they are now trailing 4-3 on aggregate in that Scottish Championship playoff. Half-time though here at Old Trafford, and Manchester United leading through that goal from Martial 13 minutes before half-time. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, and it is deserved. They have been the better side without being absolutely fantastic. I mean, he'd been getting into great positions, and in many ways he might be the story of the first half, Anthony. He's not always made the best of it, but when he needed to make that pass, he made that pass, and that's why at the moment United, without playing brilliantly, look on target for those 3 points.
Half-time in the sunshine at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0.
Should have sent you to that Hamilton game really this afternoon, shouldn't we? Really, I mean, two goals in a minute for them to go from 2-2 and 3-2 down on aggregate to 4-2 and 4-3 up on aggregate. It's flat, isn't it, Pat?
Yeah.
It's the whole thing is flat. The football feels like everybody's taking an extra touch than they need to, and the crowd are having an afternoon in the sun.
All right, I'll try and do the excuses bit here. Look, end of the season, there's been a lot of games in Manchester United. You know, they have looked as if they've tired. You know, European campaign certainly had an effect on them. They've not got Rashford there up front. That makes a difference as well. But you know as well as I do, and every Manchester United fans know, it's top four. It's the Champions League. That's what this is all about. Liverpool, of all teams, Liverpool are on your heels. They've beat you 7-0, and you know, don't give them anything else, anything to sniff at all. So I expected a lot more from Manchester United, even though you do understand that it's slightly soporific around here. You know, it is that warm day we're talking about. That's not a good enough excuse, and neither are any of the others. They've got to win this game.
Second half on the way, but I promise we'll keep a big eye on Hamilton Alloa as well during the second half. Ian, Pat, for the moment, thank you very much. As things stand, Southampton are down. We'll go to St Mary's in a moment, but Nottingham Forest have given themselves a big chance of survival after that first 45 minutes at Stamford Bridge. John Southall.
They have. What a half for Nottingham Forest. They lead Chelsea by 1-0, and Forest now 45 minutes away from what will surely be a season-defining 3 points. The goal after 13 minutes, Taiwo Awoniyi, 8th of the season, 7th in the league. A real mess from Chelsea. Edouard Mendy back in goal for the first time since the 12th of November. Came from a Roddy cross on the left-hand side, got nowhere near it. Awoniyi got between the two defenders, Mendy and Badiashile, and headed in. Huge goal for Forest. Terrible one for Chelsea to give away. Sterling and Hall have both had shots blocked. Felix also had a header well saved by Neves, but Chelsea have been very poor again. Booed off at half time, and you have to say now, what a chance this is for Forest to get 3 points. They've only had 28% possession, but they've looked well organised and they've been fairly comfortable. And it's Chelsea 0, Forest 1.
Let's go to St Mary's then. John Akers.
Southampton 0, Fulham 0. Pretty uneventful as it stands, of course. Southampton are relegated. They need to win this game. They barely laid a glove on Fulham in this one. Fulham have had the best chances. Vinicius with a volley blocked at close range. A big shout for a penalty. Looked like it did strike the hand of Lianco, and then Willian with a volley cleared off the line with a header. Need to be better in the second half. Need a goal, or they are relegated today. Southampton 0, Fulham 0.
Villa going level on points with Tottenham as things stand. Pat Murphy.
They deserve it. They're leading 1-0. Tottenham are rubbish in this first half. They must be better in the second half. Villa outstanding. Their only worry is they've only got one goal to show for it. A combination of Forster's excellent goalkeeping, Buendia hitting the top of the bar, and one or two sweet moves just falling down at the wrong moment. The goal came early. Ramsey converting. Excellent work by Bailey. Should have been more. Tottenham yet again conceding an early goal in a league match. Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
One goal in it at Selhurst Park as well. Maz.
Yeah, Palace 1, Bournemouth 0. Energy levels haven't been the highest at times in the game, which obviously means very little, and we had to wait 6 minutes before the break for the first shot on target by either side, which brought the goal. Ebere Eze with his 9th of the season. The ball was laid to him by Ayew. All the work though done by Zaha in the build-up. He fed the ball into the area after beating several Bournemouth players. Elise and Zaha have both flashed wide with chances. There's also a VAR check after Anderson's fist connected with Lerma, but I think it was accidental by the Palace man. Palace 1, Bournemouth 0.
Earlier in the Premier League finished Leeds 2, Newcastle 2. Let's go into the League One playoffs. Bolton against Barnsley. Will Perry.
Bolton 0, Barnsley 0. Chances for both sides. Charles firing a Kachunga cross narrowly over the bar for Bolton. Johnston's had a shot cleared off the line by the Barnsley defender Kitching. Connell's forced Trafford into a save in the Bolton net. He's also kept out Tedic and Cadden for the visitors, with Phillips and Cole hitting efforts high and wide. Both will be hopeful of getting the advantage ahead of Friday night's second leg, with the winners taking on Peterborough or Sheffield Wednesday at Wembley. Bolton 0, Barnsley 0.
National League playoff final is at Wembley, and goodness me, Notts County had a nervy start. Chris Coles.
They really have, Mark. They're 1-0 down to Chesterfield, could be 2. Chesterfield are on top. 23 points separated the two teams in the league. But the favourites, who finished second, they look nervy. They're yet to build a meaningful attack, and there's a real sense of deja vu. They've been here before in the playoffs, and they'll need another come-from-behind win if they're to go up. Chesterfield have a 1-goal lead, and it's thoroughly merited with 22 minutes played.
We're at the playoff stage in the Gallagher Premier. Saracens finished top of the regular season. Northampton 4th. Adam Whitty.
Saracens 7, Northampton 3 with 20 minutes gone in a frantic semi-final so far. Sean Maitland's converted try for Sarries and a Finn Smith penalty for Saints to score so far. But we've had a first period full of spillages, turnovers, mazy runs. It's been brilliant. Saints, though, need to do better with the Sarries high kicks. Otherwise, they've got no hope of shocking the host Saracens. Saracens 7, Northampton 3, 20 minutes gone.
So here are your other half times then. In the Scottish Premiership, in the bottom half, Dundee United 1, Ross County 1. Ross County had taken the lead there, and if they were to win, they would go off the bottom of the table. Dundee United would drop to the bottom of the table. Kilmarnock 0, Livingston 0, and St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 0. In the top half of the table, the title already decided. Of course, it's gone to Celtic, but they lost the Old Firm early, beaten at Ibrox by 3 goals still to goalless between Aberdeen and Hibs, and Hearts trail at St Mirren by 2 goals to 0. We've been talking about the playoffs. In the playoffs for the Championship in Scotland, Hamilton have come from 2-0 down at home to 10-man Alloa to lead 4-2 at half-time, and that's 4-3 on aggregate. In the other game, in that it's Falkirk 0, Adrionians 1. That is all but settled, with Adrionians leading 7-2 now on aggregate. In the League One playoffs, this is the battle to either get into or stay in League One. It's Dumbarton 0, Annan 0. Annan won the first game, the first leg of that time by 6 goals to 0. And in the battle to get into League Two, it is the Spartans 0, Albion Rovers 1. In the Rugby Championship playoffs, Stormers 24, Connaughts 13 at half-time. In Super St Helens 26, Salford 12. It's in Finch 5-4. Here's John Clinton.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Department for Transport and the Rail Delivery Group, which represents train operating companies, have accused the RMT union of blocking a negotiated settlement to their dispute. They say the union's leadership has failed to put their latest pay offer to members. The RMT is staging another walkout today and says it's always open to further talks. Ukraine's President Zelensky is at the Vatican for an audience with Pope Francis. Earlier, he met Italy's political leaders in Rome, including Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who pledged her full support to Ukraine. Plaid Cymru has appointed an interim leader, Clear Griffith. He takes over from Adam Price, who stood down after a review found a toxic culture within the party. And fans are gearing up for the final of the Eurovision Song Contest, which will start in Liverpool in a few hours. 26 acts will be vying for the title, with the UK's May Muller giving a final performance.
5 Live Breakfast.
In golf, the fallback from the controversial breakaway Live Tour continues. 26 players have been hit with fines and bans from the European Tour for coming in events from both Saudi running Live Tour last year, with financial bonuses ranging from £12,500 to £100,000. Players have been suspended from 8 tournaments. Our golf correspondent Ian Carter joins us now.
The punishments are only arriving now because the whole process has had to go through an appeal hearing, which the verdicts of that came in April. We're losing big names from the European Tour. Lee Westwood, Ian Poulter, Sergio Garcia, Richard Bland, they all resigned last week from the Tour. Henrik Stenson, since the announcement of these new punishments, has gone as well.
Rachel Burden and Rick Edwards. 5 Live Breakfast. Weekday mornings from 6.
This is 5 Live Sport. Mark Chapman. Let's go back to Sarries against Northampton. Adam Whitty.
Where Saracens have got a second try, as does Sean Maitland. The hosts extending their lead over Saints to 14-3 with 24 minutes gone. Owen Farrell, the ringleader, he's kicked through. Sarries pulling away already, 24 minutes gone.
This weekend, Kevin Hales is at the Oval.
Some of the main stories, including here at the Southwold Middlesex now with a very big challenge on this third afternoon. The champions Surrey all out for 380 at first innings, lead at 171. Jamie Smith with a 97. Some late order runs from Sean Abbott and Dan Worrell as well. The London rivals now second innings, 25 for no wicket, but the ball is doing all sorts. Robson and Stoneman the opening pair. Some headlines from elsewhere. Johnny Bairstow made 36 for Yorkshire. Second innings away to Durham. Durham chasing 246 for victory. They're 82 for 2. Result in from Cardiff. Big win for Glamorgan over Worcestershire by 10 wickets. And a result in Division 1. They needed only 100 runs to beat Essex in Birmingham. They got there, but just the 4 wickets left.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Let's go back to the Premier League. Earlier it finished Leeds 2, Newcastle 2. Luke Ayling putting Leeds ahead. Patrick Bamford then had a penalty saved to make it 2-0. Callum Wilson then scored twice from the spot, so that put Newcastle in front. Rasmus Christensen equalised to earn a point for Leeds, but it keeps them in the bottom 3. Towards the end of the game as well, a Leeds fan entered the technical area and pushed Eddie Howe. Howe said afterwards, "I don't know if I had time to be fearful, but it certainly makes you think, what if? No one should have to face that." As far as the game itself is concerned, this is what he said post-match.
Yeah, strange game. From the low of conceding and conceding the penalty and potentially going 2-0 down to then the highs of going 2-0. We couldn't see the game out, so ultimately feel disappointed now, but that could be a big point for us.
Absolutely, in the cold light of day and time, to avoid defeat might be crucial here today.
It might be, you just don't know, and I think that's where sometimes you have to take what you're given. I thought we did okay today without being our very best, and in this league, we've learned this season that you have to hit your best levels to win.
Fine margins, as you say, expected a fast start. They could have been 2-0 up, suddenly you're 1-1.
Yeah, so game swings on huge moments, and Popey's made a massive save for us. He's done that all season, so that was a huge moment in this game today. And then we got our penalties in between. I thought we could have done better maybe around their box, but we just couldn't see the game. I was disappointed to concede from that corner.
I know you. There's no point me saying you only need 6 points because you want 9, but that's the challenge, is it?
We're after 9 because that's how you have to be. We know we've got difficult fixtures. We look forward to Brighton. They're having a great season themselves, so that'll be a really good game. But we want to win.
It's in your hands. That's the crucial thing. What situation to be in with 3 to go?
And again, at the start of the season, if you'd have said that, you'd have snapped someone's arm off for that opportunity. It's in our hands, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
The man who got the Leeds equaliser then, Rasmus Christensen, again with Steve Mann.
It's like a roller coaster of emotions, where I think from outside it would have been a very exciting game to watch, and it was also a nice game to play, and at the end of the day we have to be happy with the point.
Is that the big positive to take into these last 2 games now, the way you show character today?
Yeah, of course. I thought like last week and this week against some of the best teams in the league, 2 from the top 3. I mean, we showed character, we showed quality, we showed that we can compete and in some situations even dominate, and I think today was an even game, could have gone both ways, but at the end of the day, and of course when you get the 2 late in the game, you have to be happy with the point.
And you got them the point. I know it took a deflection of Kieran Trippier, but have you caught many volleys like that in your career?
No, that might have been the first one.
Some striking.
Yeah, I'm just happy to see it go in. I mean, sometimes you just, in those situations when you gather the ball and you're on the edge of the box, you just try to clutch out for the best.
And it doesn't matter where the goals come from in the last 2 games, does it?
I couldn't care less.
Rasmus Christensen, see everything on Match of the Day, which because of Eurovision is on BBC 2 tonight at 10 o'clock. Have Notts County settled a little bit in the National League playoff final? Chris Coles?
Oh, a little bit, Mark. Yes, they're keeping the ball with more regularity, but Chesterfield continue to offer the bigger threat, and Liam Mandeville and Andrew Dallas, who scored the only goal of the game from the penalty spot, continue to cause Notts County problems. 15 minutes to play until half-time. I don't think many saw this scoreline coming. Chesterfield 1, Notts County 0.
So if you're on the Rugby Union Premiership semi-final, then that is on Sports Extra here on 5 Line. Full hour of sports report on the way before 6:06, and that all follows the second half from Old Trafford. Manchester United lead Wolves by a goal to 0. That's a pass in here.
Did you read out that Tottenham statistic in the half-time at all?
No, I don't think so.
It's called Toothless Tottenham, and they failed to have a single shot in the first half, and it's the first time that they have failed to have a shot before half-time in a Premier League game since September 2021.
Well done, good start.
Thank you. Multitasking as ever.
Well, submit who gave it you?
Hey, Chris Collinson at the... also sent it to you, and that's why I checked. All right. Anyway, neither side has made a change, as in the sunshine and in the clear blue skies we're about to get underway. Manchester United with De Gea in goal, a back four of Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Lindelof and Shaw. Wolves are going to make a change though. Fernandes, Casemiro, Eriksen, Sancho, Martial, the goal scorer, and Anthony. And the change for Wolves is that Yi-Chan Wang has come on and has replaced Pedro Neto. So Bentley in goal, making his debut. Semedo, Dawson, Kilman and Totti as the defence. And now you've got Lamina, Neves and Mateus as a midfield three, with Hwang, Cunha and Costa. For Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are all in grey and were awful in that first half. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, they had to change something. I was wondering if they're going to change the way that they're set up. Looks maybe a little bit closer to 4-2-3-1. That Wolves are maybe going to try and go to the start of the second half. But one change in personnel. But if you're playing against a team in the bottom league, and this is where United have been quite lucky here, they would have given a much bigger fight so far. But these games can change in the second half. And Lamina started well.
Lamina driving forward as well, passes the ball out towards Cunha, back towards Lamina. Certainly can't be as bad as they were in the first half, as the cross comes in and is headed out by Varane. There's now been a goal at St Mary's. John Akers.
And it's for Fulham. It looks like the end for Southampton. Southampton 0, Fulham 1. Vinicius with a tap-in on the line in front of the Fulham fans, just after Southampton had had the ball in the net at the other end, but the flag went up against Alcaraz for offside. Thrall, Southampton 0, Fulham 1.
So two significant scorelines affecting the bottom of the Premier League. Southampton will be relegated today, and Nottingham Forest, still leading at Chelsea by a goal to nil, will go 5 points clear of the relegation zone. And after it finished Leeds United 2, Newcastle United 2 earlier, with Forest on 36 points, you would think that would be enough. And with Southampton then going down, you're then looking at 2 from 3 of Leicester, Leeds United and Everton. Let's get an update of the rugby. Adam Whitty's watching Sounds Northampton.
And we've not even had half an hour. Saracens have got 3 semi-final tries. Ivan Van Sale splitting the Saints defence in centre field to run 30 metres to score. Saints just can't deal with this. Sarri's destined for Twickenham already, you'd think. Saracens 21, Saints 3, 32 minutes gone.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. Anthony, meanwhile, wins a corner for Manchester United with a shot that is deflected behind in front of the Stretford end. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, Martial made a good run to the right hand side there. He's not an out-and-out striker type player most of the time anyway, so he gets in a good area, but again, everything seems to be falling to Anthony, doesn't it? I would say that's the third very decent chance he's had in the game. However, he has been the difference because he's getting into good positions and he's made one.
Cross comes in from Shaw on the far side, headed away by Wolves, drops towards Sancho, tries to hit a right-footed curling effort, blocked, put back in by Casemiro, cleared by Dawson for Wolves, and out of play it goes for a throw, as it's then Sancho to take it quickly. The atmosphere soporific at times in this first half as Casemiro plays it forward. There was Dawson on the edge of the area, dived in at the second time, has been caught by Martial as he reacted there, and Dawson has stayed down as Semedo brings it clear. He's still on his knees, he's the central defender. Lamina, then to Mateus.
His teammates aren't really bothered, he just kept on playing.
Kilmarnock are leading Livingston by a goal to nil at Rugby Park. So Kilmarnock, who are only a point clear of bottom of the table, Ross County, are 1-0 up at home to Livy. Ross County still drawing at Dundee United 1-1 as Manchester United give the ball away.
Was down at Rugby Park last week. A friend of mine who's written a book actually about doing the marathon. I don't know if you know about that. It is said to be the hardest race in the world, and he managed to finish it. He used to play for Kelly.
I think if he's training for a marathon, he wouldn't be sampling any of those fine pies at Rugby Park.
Doesn't look as if he's had one in 10 years.
So Killian leading, Sancho runs away from Semedo on this near side. Martial goes ahead of him. Here is Martial now with his back to goal, looking to turn, pulls it back. Ericsson just outside the D, blocked by Lamina, comes out to Casemiro. 35 yards out from goal. Ericsson towards Shaw. Lamina has stayed down after that effort, wrapped into his shins. And Lamina is still in trouble. Manchester United are actually saying, put the ball out of play. Bruno Fernandes was the one to put it out of play. And the Manchester United fans react angrily to that decision as Shaw obliges. And it will be a stoppage in play and a throw to Manchester United.
Joe, it's strange that because, the referee says his decision when the play should stop. And most of the time I think, well, don't bother because it's almost certain the guy's acting it. He's not acting there. I'm convinced he's not. And I think what's happened is he's damaged his ligaments there in his left ankle as the ball was shot at him. It's bent them round. And there's certain players you wouldn't stop for. Yeah, I'd stop for him.
Yeah, I think that happened to Alan Smith for Manchester United at Liverpool. I think he got in the way of a John Arne Riise shot. He was had a long time out as a result. So we're going to have a stoppage in play here, where Manchester United is still leading Wolves by a 1-0 to Stamford Bridge. John Southall.
Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Really strong start by Forest in this second half. Chance corner on the right hand side by Lodi. Felipe flicked it on at the near post, and Niakate stretching at the back post, couldn't put it in. Chelsea 0, Forest 1.
The results earlier: Leeds United 2, Newcastle United 2, Rangers 3, Celtic 0. Latest from Villa Park from Pat Murphy.
Villa still lead 1-0. Yet again, it could have been 2-0 a moment ago. Buendia, lovely sleight of foot, left foot chip, palmed away by Forster, who's been very good in the Tottenham goal, unlike the rest of his mates. Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
I've got some news for you, Pat. There's been an injury at Selhurst Park. Masfarouki.
Yeah, Zaha, he's gone down requiring treatment. I think it's a right hamstring problem, perhaps. He's been replaced by Odsonne Edouard. Palace still lead through that Eze goal just before half-time. Palace 1, Bournemouth 0.
And in the League One playoffs, Bolton, Barnsley, Will Perry.
Bolton 0, Barnsley 0. Early stages in this second half, and Devante Cole, son of Andy, couldn't steer a decent Williams cross on target down the other end. A Morley free kick, beautifully positioned, but no Bolton player on the end of it. 0-0.
There's been another goal. It's at Stamford Bridge. John Southall.
Big one in the relegation battle. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Across from the right hand side, there was Raheem Sterling, 12 yards out, took a slight deflection into the top right hand corner. Chelsea 1, Nottingham Forest 1.
So Chelsea have equalised there against Nottingham Forest. 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. Crystal Palace 1, Bournemouth 0, Southampton 0, 1. Aston Villa leading Spurs by a 0-0. So, how does that affect the bottom of the table? Well, it would look like this now, that Forest would have 34 points. So that would still be, that would take them 3 clear of Leeds United, who are the last side in that relegation zone. So Forest would go to 34, Everton 32, Leeds 31 is how it currently stands. Back to Villa Park we go. Pat.
Still 1-0, nearly the equaliser. Harry Kane, 12 yards out, on his right foot, only had the keeper to beat. Martinez guessed, went to his left, blocked it. How important is that moment? Villa 1, Tottenham 0.
Thank you, Pat. We're back underway here at Old Trafford in the glorious sunshine as Lamina looks like he's all right to continue after lengthy treatment, Pat.
Yeah, good news. He's been one of the best players on the pitch today, certainly by some distance the best player playing for Wolverhampton Wanderers. So they didn't want him to come off, and there was a little flash over to the dugout, and they looked very worried when he went down.
Deflection almost took it into the path of Martial, cleared away by Daniel Bentley, the debutant in goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers at McDermott Park. It's St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 1. That's in the Scottish Premiership. Wolves trailing by a 0-0. Neves holding on to the ball and waiting for the run of Nelson Semedo. He hits it earlier towards Hwang. Hwang makes the run, the cutback. Diego Costa with his back to goal tries to tee up Neves. Neves has to slide into the challenge. He plays it now out towards Hwang. Hwang on the right hand side. This is promising for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Hwang towards Neves. Neves chips the ball towards the far post, headed away by Wan-Bissaka, kept alive by Diego Costa. Totti sends over the cross, left corner of the area. Hwang's header is then turned behind by Casemiro for a Wolves corner kick.
Do you know what? That really tells the story of that. There wasn't anything particularly brilliant about that attack, but you could see how jittery the Man United got, because they know they've not got a big enough gap now. It just takes one half decent ball into the box, and they could be in
taken in front of the travelling support. Neves is going to take it right-footed on this right-hand side. It's an outswinger. Kilman was up and his header was off his forehead and well away from goal and out for a goal kick. So Wolves, who won here last season but haven't had consecutive league wins at Old Trafford since the days of Stan Cullis in the early 60s, still trail by a 1-0.
And I hate jumping back too far in time though, but I liked your line about if I get used to you, Tom. Yes, on our cameras was a mistake, correct. Well done. Very impressive. Yeah.
Throwing off your influence, rubbing off on me. It's very much an in-house gag.
Yeah, very much.
The listeners are able to see that.
That's why I'm telling.
As David De Gea clears downfield. And a reminder that a full hour of Sports Report with Mark Chapman at 5. And there is a special Monday night club with Mark Chapman at 7 on Monday. You'll be able to watch it as well as listen. You can watch it on the BBC iPlayer. And then after tomorrow's 5 Live Premier League Sunday from midday, Everton Manchester City at 2, and Arsenal Brighton and Hove Albion at 4:30. We're back on our travels again next week. Tuesday night, back in San Siro for Inter against Milan. Wednesday we're at the Etihad for Manchester City, Real Madrid. And then we're going Dutch on Thursday, AZ Alkmaar against West Ham United. All 3 will be live on BBC Radio 5 Live. And Hamilton, a complete turnaround, and now leading Alloa by 5-2. Semedo with a cross sent over from the right-hand side, and that means that it is 5-3 on aggregate. But at one stage they were 3-0 down on aggregate, and they've completely turned it around at New Douglas Park in that Scottish Championship playoff. Pat.
Yeah, really good play down the right-hand side there from Wolves. A brilliant ball into the near post, and it's one of those ones where Costa couldn't get ahead of Wan-Bissaka, whereas in the past that was me and Drinkham, wasn't it? He would have been in there, he'd have put his head on it, he'd have muscled Wan-Bissaka out of the way, but that was a half chance there for Wolves.
Corner taken short on the left-hand side. Neves with the cross. Dawson was up from the back. Another header behind. Another corner kick for Wolves. Urged on by the travelling support. Manchester United looking to move level with Newcastle United on 66 points in the race for Champions League qualification. And it's Wolves who actually have taken 5 points off Manchester United in their last 4 visits, looking for an equaliser. Neves, right-hand side, right-footed. Kilman with a downward header, off-target goal kick.
Again, they get head to it, it's not a clean header, we've got players around them, but they're getting the first touches from these corner kicks now, Wolves, and they've had quite a few in this game. So again, you just have to say to United, they need to put this game to bed, because 1-0, it would be the least shocking result before the game. I would say the biggest guess, or most often guessed result of this game would have been 1-0, but it's not a foregone conclusion, because when our quality players just need that moment of brilliance or a set piece, and that was the set piece that nearly gave them a chance for the Wolves.
That's the familiar voice of Pat Nevin here on BBC Radio 5 Live. A reminder tonight, Match the Day, because of the Eurovision Song Contest on BBC 1. Match the Day on a slightly earlier time, but on BBC 2 at 10 o'clock. Villa still lead Spurs 1-0, Chelsea 1, Forest 1, Crystal Palace 1, Bournemouth 0, Southampton 0, Fulham 1. Sancho to Varane, Wan-Bissaka, then the ball played out by Lindelof along the ground. Martial lays it off. Bruno Fernandes coming in off that right touchline in space to Anthony ahead of him on the right hand side. He enters the penalty area, pulls it back to Bruno Fernandes onto his right foot, back heels the ball towards Anthony, who shoots, and it almost found its way through, but it's gone behind, deflected for a corner kick. We'll get a quick rugby update with Adam Whitty.
Saracens giving Saints a torrid time in this semi-final. They lead 21-3 at half-time. Owen Farrell leading a kicking masterclass that Northampton just cannot handle. Visitors missing several big chances to get themselves back in the game at the end of the half. Saracens look final bound. They lead 21-3 at half-time.
Second half will be on Sports Extra. We're going to Selhurst Park after the corner kick. It's taken on that far side, the right. It almost comes out towards Sancho. So a goal at Crystal Palace. Masfaruki.
Fabulous goal for Barry Eze, his second of the afternoon. Palace's second of the afternoon. A brilliant individual effort. Roy Hodgson, a big smile on his face on the touchline. Palace 2, Bournemouth 0.
Take Palace to 43 at one stage that Crystal Palace faced the threat of relegation. Meanwhile, down at the other end, what a brilliant little bit of work that was from Varane. It was cleared long towards Diego Costa. On the stretch, he's lifted the ball up with his first touch and then followed it away with his second touch as Wolves prepare for a second change. Dundee United 1, Ross County 2 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Bottom of the table, Ross County are back in front against one of their relegation rivals. And I'm hearing Chelsea 2, Nottingham Forest 1. John Southall.
Raheem Sterling has just curled a delightful goal into the top right-hand corner, and Nottingham Forest, who are leading by a goal to nil, now trail Chelsea 2-1.
So history repeating itself in West London, just exactly what happened at Brentford just a few weeks ago. Wolves, meanwhile, coming forward as Diego Costa kicks the ball angrily into the advertising hoardings and seems to exchange a few words with some disgruntled United supporters as Bruno Fernandes is down in front of the Stretford end.
Yeah, I think it should have been a foul here. Tackle, I don't think he gets anywhere near the ball. Kilman goes over there. Fernandes stays down. I don't know if he has get any real injury, you know.